What's up everyone, hope you guys are all having a great day today, or at least a better day than the day our good friend Jim Ryan is having, because my man's literally just had one of the funniest mental breakdowns that's being publicly spread to news outlets that I've ever seen. Now, I'll be honest, I kinda like Jim Ryan. I mean, how could I not? The man has provided me with the purest salt I could possibly produce from the PlayStation fanboys, going through the wildest mental gymnastics imaginable. Like, literally, all I'm doing is reporting on this stupidity and making fun of it. It's beautiful, honestly. But hey, you know what? Even the best of people have their fuck-ups every now and then, and unfortunately, it's time for a good friend Jim. That's right, Jim Ryan himself has had his very own PlayStation fanboy moment. No fucking wonder the PlayStation fanboys are as stupid as they are when the company they pledge allegiance to is led by people who, when faced with competition and challenge, react to that type of stuff like this. So this all comes from the whole situation that spun out of Microsoft buying Activision that had started going around in like late January. Right now, and for the last 5-ish months or so, the buyout has been going through all the checks in different countries around the world to make sure it's okay to pass and that letting the buyout happen won't cause a monopoly on Microsoft's end. There's actually been quite a bit of salt coming from PlayStation's end that I really just haven't bothered to cover here on the channel, mostly because my uploads are inconsistent as fuck and shit like cross-country, school, and my personal life are taking up a major portion of shit. But hey, I'm trying to get back on that grind set, give me some time. But anyway, some of the shit that came out of this was a situation that happened a couple months ago where, when asked his thoughts of Microsoft buying up Activision, Jim Ryan came out and basically straight up said he thinks PlayStation can't compete without Call of Duty. This was really fucking funny, cause what was the shit PlayStation fanboys were claiming back when the buyout first happened? Oh yeah, it's a nothing burger, who cares, we have our own great exclusives like God of War, which got ported to PC that exact same fucking month. These people can't help but shoot themselves in the foot, I swear to God. But anyways, yeah, Sony straight up admitted they basically need COD to be viable, which honestly is pretty fair. From what I've heard, don't at me on this, but I'm pretty sure more than like half of COD's user base is on PlayStation, and I know a lot of people buy PlayStations just for COD, and if COD were to stop coming to PlayStation, let's say whatever the fuck the next generation of consoles comes out, I'm willing to bet a lot of people would reconsider. I'm willing to bet a lot of the people would reconsider what they're deciding to go purchase for their next console and go with their Xbox or PC, since those might be the only platforms that will have COD on them. Now, let me make one thing clear. I really don't care either way if COD goes exclusive at Xbox and PC or not. If it goes exclusive, cool. More salt for me to mine, and it also doesn't affect me because I'm on PC. Even if the quality drops somehow even further from these games being exclusive, like how Griffin said in his video would happen if they went exclusive, I'm not attached to this franchise at all. I played like 2 of the games, Modern Warfare 2019 and Vanguard, and both were mid as fuck, to be 100% honest. It does not matter to me whatsoever. If it doesn't go exclusive, also cool. The same people who have been enjoying these games for years get to keep playing them. But long story short, today an article came out from gameindustry.biz which had a really interesting statement from Jim Ryan, where basically he was pissed that Microsoft was not considering Sony's position enough in supporting them when it came to this whole Activision buyout. So enough talking, and let's see what this article is shat out today. PlayStation says Xbox's Call of Duty offer was inadequate on many levels. Microsoft has offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years beyond the current deal. See, again, I don't really know why this shocked people at PlayStation. Microsoft is a competitor. Yeah, their attempts at competition have been pretty pathetic as of late, especially on what they offer in terms of their own games that they've made, but the whole Activision buyout is their main attempt at competing. They would not bother buying any studios, period, if they weren't trying to compete with what PlayStation has. This is nothing new. Why are they acting like this? It's funny as shit. I don't know. But just wait, it gets fucking better. Microsoft has promised to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for 3 years beyond the current agreement between Activision and Sony, says PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan. In a statement provided to GameIndustry.biz, Ryan says the offer was inadequate on many levels. I mean, yeah, I think this is a good enough thing for them to do. Again, like I said earlier, I absolutely agree with what Griffin said, that if COD goes exclusive to Xbox, the quality of those games will most likely go down even further than what it already has been at right now. But again, I don't really give a fuck. I think it's funny that Microsoft is even bothering with PlayStation right here, as they give them like one last pat on the back and saying you'll be fine right before straight up ditching them, but I don't really know what else. The disagreement between two companies follows Microsoft's offer to buy Call of Duty publisher Activision Blizzard in a deal worth nearly $69 billion. The deal is currently being scrutinized by competitions regulators, with the UK regulator, the Competition and Markets Authority, concerned over the possibility of Microsoft withholding or degrading Activision Blizzard's content from other consoles or subscription services. Okay, yeah, here's where this shit gets fucking brain dead. To start shit out, Sony has been withholding content from other consoles and subscription services for fucking years, dude. They do it literally all the time. Final Fantasy VII Remake, that game is still yet to come to Xbox 2 years after it's been out. Resident Evil Village, they paid Capcom not only to make the demos delayed to come to other platforms, and to make them scrap a demo entirely on both PC and Xbox, but they also paid Capcom not to release Resident Evil Village on Game Pass, and God knows how many other games they did the same shit for. They made Microsoft's own fucking studios and not release 2 of their own games onto Xbox, and shit, if you want to go back to COD, they paid to have content be exclusive to PlayStation for a year, like the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remaster, a few Spec Ops modes in Modern Warfare 2019. I'm probably missing a bunch of other shit, but the point is, Sony's hands are as dirty in this situation as much as Microsoft's are, and I have literally no clue why these so-called competitions regulators never seem to bat an eye at Sony doing this shit. Last week, Xbox revealed that it had provided a signed agreement to Sony to guarantee Call of Duty on PlayStation with feature content and parity for at least several more years, beyond Sony's existing contract with Activision. Xbox says this offer goes well beyond typical gaming industry agreements. The current deal between Sony and Activision Blizzard around Call of Duty is believed to cover the next 3 releases, including this year's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I mean, yeah, I feel like this is more than fair to Sony. I mean, I never saw Sony putting The Last of Us or Uncharted onto Xbox after they bought Naughty Dog. Spider-Man is sure as hell never coming to Xbox after they bought Insomniac. And while, again, it's funny to me that they're even bothering with this seems like a fair enough compromise on Microsoft's end. However, Sony says the offer fails to consider the impact on PlayStation gamers. And this is where this shit hits the floor. This is gonna be fucking glorious to read.
I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but I feel I need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into the public forum, Ryan stated.
Oh god, he's really bitching about confidentiality now. This reminds me of back with the whole Quantum TV situation where Griffin showed his emails with Quantum and he got pissed because he thought those were private emails when literally nobody agreed to stuff in those emails to be confidential. But that was Quantum. He's a fucking narcissistic dumbass. You would think a fucking CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company would have somewhat of an idea of how to make sure things are confidential, and that confidentiality only applies when both parties agree to it. Jesus Christ. Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account of the impact on our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Jim, why? Jim, you were supposed to be one of the good ones. You're pulling one of the same arguments out of your ass that the PlayStation fanboys do. You're supposed to be better than this, Jim. How the fuck are you CEO of PlayStation in the US and you're this fucking brain dead? For one, Xbox is a competitor. They solely exist to make profit more than Sony and to get their customers to come to Xbox. No fucking shit. They'd want to make things worse on PlayStation so that their users will want to come to Xbox. Which leads me to my next point. Sony has been pulling this exact same shit for years, but just managing their money a lot more. Microsoft is a $1 trillion company and really doesn't have to. If you think for 1 second that if Sony were to have the funds Microsoft has and wouldn't pull this exact same shit on Xbox the moment they got the chance, you're dead fucking wrong. Is what Microsoft is doing immoral? Yeah, but they're a fucking corporation. They don't give a fuck about their own audience as long as they're supporting their shit, much less the opposing corporation's audience. This is like if 2 opposing teams got the best player on one team to go to the other, and the first team that used to have the best player started bitching about how it was unfair. Except in this case, Microsoft is still letting COD games go to PlayStation for a few more years. I'd guess probably until this generation is over. They should be counting themselves blessed Microsoft is even willing to do that. Sony, you bought Bungie. They have some talent. You have a reputation for making solid games that are definitely more high quality than whatever the fuck Xbox has been putting out the last 4 years. Get Bungie to get off their ass and start making good original first-person shooters again. Market that shit to high hell, and I'm willing to bet a lot of the Xbox players who are tired of Microsoft's management of the Halo series will switch over to PlayStation. Don't get me wrong, if COD becomes an exclusive to Xbox, that would be a huge fucking deal, but I really do think Sony is being way too dramatic with this shit. But really, the way I think Sony and Microsoft should settle this shit is with a full-on boxing match between Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer, and the winner gets to keep Activision. Like, I'm not even fucking joking. Do you have any idea how fucking hilarious that would be to see? Two old dudes getting their shit rocked by each other? God, one can only dream. Anyways, the article's over and I still got a bunch of other shit to do, so I'm gonna end this shit. Make sure to like and subscribe, join my Discord, follow my Twitter and Instagram. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.
What are you going to do?